Welcome everyone to Train Tuesday. So glad to have you joining us here tonight on the live edition. If you are here live, thanks for joining us. We'll do some shout outs here in a second. If you are catching us on YouTube, well, thank you for finding us there on YouTube. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you are alerted to every time a new video comes onto the YouTube channel. That being said, we're going to kind of take a summer vacation. We're still going to have Train Tuesday, but it's not going to be live. It is going to be a pre-recorded program that will drop every Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. Now, obviously, next week for us here in the United States, we will be celebrating Independence Day. No hard feelings to my friends over there in the UK. And also, we're going to be on the road a lot. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. But let's do what we always do. Let's see who is with us tonight. I see the Memphis Railroader, Jake here, Donnie, Ian, John, Michael, Harold, Eric, John, EMP Railroad 93, and DG Model Works is in the house. We're going to be talking HO scale tonight. We're going to be talking about the Athearn Pullman Standard 4740 covered hoppers, as well as the Roundhouse 34-foot open hoppers, open gondolas. So be sure to check those out. You Steam era guys are going to be wanting to take a look at those. I apologize for the stuffiness of my voice and my clearing of my throat every now and then. This part of the Midwest and the upper parts of the Midwest are suffering from a lot of poor air quality. If you know what I mean, you can see it on the news. We hope everybody up in Canada is doing okay in spite of those wildfires. So let's see who else is joining us. I see Ray Arnott is here, John, Glenn, Halifax to Henriques. I hope I said that right. Harold, Steve, Donnie, and plenty more. We've got about 87 guys here tonight. So glad that you guys could show up, and we are going to be talking about the Athearn HO scale 4740 covered hoppers. Now, if you really dig this Norfolk Western version that you see here, these are actually in stock at your dealer. These were the last announced ones. We announce these almost annually because they are that popular, especially for you guys that are modeling into the 60s, 70s, 80s, even contemporary in some cases. Now, Pullman Standard dominated the covered hopper car market beginning in the 1950s thanks to the design success of their PS2 series of covered hoppers. In 1967, the 4740 cubic foot capacity covered hoppers were the successor to the earlier 4427 cubic foot design. Pullman Standard responded to increasing demand for efficiency by the railroads and shippers alike, carrying more per trip than earlier covered hoppers. Designed to carry bulk commodities such as grain, these cars roamed the rails of North America for decades, attesting to the utilitarian functionality. This car type can still be seen in service today. In fact, I think I saw one or two while I was in Galesburg this past weekend. So like I said, here we have Norfolk and Western 176-830. If you're interested in this car, item number is ATH18790. These are available now, and most likely you're going to have a couple of different options as far as road numbers. But let's talk about what you have until just Friday to pre-order with your dealer. And we got some pretty colorful cars here, and we're going to talk about these. The first one that you're going to see here is the Union Pacific 74082, based on the 1974 paint scheme, and the Special 74-44-4, which is a 1976 paint scheme. Now, available separately, just a single car by itself, we're offering the Union Pacific 74082 as well as 74225. These are in the standard paint scheme, the 1974 onward paint scheme, that gray paint scheme, and available separately. We are also offering a 3-pack, which is the only way you can get the bicentennial version. The 3-pack will include 2 standard paint jobs of 74-113 and 74-274, and will also include that really cool bicentennial 74-44-4. That's the only way you're going to get that. So if you're a UP guy, you're going to be happy to have these on your layout. And of course, these went all over the United States and Canada. So if you were modeling the mid-1970s, this one is for you. Coming up next, we've got Kansas City Southern. The one that we've got pictured here is number 303082. This is based on the 1969 on up paint scheme. Now we're also offering available separately its cousin, Kansas City Southern 303111, and also a 3-pack. Now the 3-pack will include 3 of the Kansas City Southern cars in this paint scheme, but they all have different numbers: 303096, 303107, and 303124. Guys modeling in about the same time frame on the East Coast, you're going to want to pick these up. Chesapeake and Ohio, this is 603322. Again, 1969 era paint scheme, certainly lasts throughout the Chessie and even the early CSX era. Now, this is also available as another single car number 603379, and a 3-pack that will include cars 603322, 603354, and 603365. For you guys that are modeling a little bit newer era, 1995 on up, this is the AG processing car. This is car number 95203. We're offering another single just like it. However, its road number is 95256. And the 3-car pack will include HEPX car numbers 95219, 95238, and 95264. So we've got something for you guys that are modeling the 1970s into the 80s as well as the 1990s. Coming up next, we've got the PV 7121. This is a 1970 paint scheme, and it's also going to be available as 2 different singles. The single car that you see here, 7121, as well as car lettered TLDX number 7128. The 3-car pack will include the same paint scheme for 1970s, and it will include car numbers 7122, 7125, and 7126. And then last but not least, for you guys that are modeling the late, very late 1970s throughout the 80s and 90s, we're offering the Farmers Co-op. This car here, 60033, as well as the other single car, lettered TCAX 60033, are available separately. The 3-car pack will include the same paint scheme that you see here, as well as cars number 60067, 60075, and 60158. Now, the features on these cars, if you're not familiar with these cars, they're going to be obviously fully assembled, ready to go. These are originally from the Ready to Roll line. They've moved over to the Athearn line. They're going to have body-mounted McHenry operating scale knuckle couplers, 36-inch solid nickel silver wheels with the RP25 contours. These will operate on all types of different HO scale track. They're going to have roller-bearing trucks. Of course, they're going to be weighted to NMRA standards, razor-sharp printing and painting. And there's a lot of cool, I mean, the UP car especially, there's a lot of cool paint there. Again, as I've already explained, the multi-packs will feature unique road numbers, so you don't have to worry about having to re-decal any of these. You can just buy the 3-pack and the 2 singles and go ahead and make your grain train. Now, the minimum radius on these is 18 inches, and the individual price, again, this is MSRP, so contact your dealer for your price. MSRP on singles is $39.99. The 3-pack is $109.99. Now, again, you have until Friday, which is just a few days away. I'm going to put the model back up here. So what you can do is you can go and see if this car is still available. And you can also pre-order the ones that we've talked about. So you have until Friday. And then, believe it or not, Friday, we're going to be talking new announcements for July. I'm going to see if there's any questions on here. Let's see. Some folks are asking, do you offer pigeons for these? No, we do not offer pigeons for these. However, that is an extremely important detail. If you live near a grain elevator, you'll know why. Fortunately, there are folks out there that do manufacture HO scale pigeons. Let's see what else we've got. Here's a great modeling idea for you guys. St. Crow 3929 says he's seen a few of the PV hoppers, but all were patched over with various reporting marks. Yeah, that's true. I've seen those as well. Many times you'll see a freight car that we offer as it appeared in its prime when it was first manufactured, say 1979 or so on. That doesn't mean that that's the end of the road for those cars. Many times new owners take those, they've been patched over. So if you see something you want to add to your railroad, do a little bit of research online. 9 times out of 10, you're going to find out that somebody else owns that car. And with the exception of being well weathered, it's pretty much the same car. Fun thing to do. And it's also really makes your layout look that much better. Tells a story. Sid wants to know if there's any hints on July announcements. Yes, not right now, though. We're going to go through these cars. No, well, we do have a contest relatable, but it's going to be a special contest. It's going to be on the road. Nothing online yet. All right, I'm going to go back to see if anybody else has any questions. A lot of Kansas City Southern fans are happy tonight. Let's see. One question from Mr. Hartman. Will Athearn consider making the 4740 covered hoppers an N scale? Not in this run. We are only talking HO tonight. All right. Derek, I see your question about the CF7. Remind me at the end of the show. I do want to answer your question. It is a question I hear a lot when I'm on the road. So, Derek, remind me at the end of the show to ask that question again, and we'll certainly answer it. All right, let's move on to our next item. We're going to go to Roundhouse now. And for you steam era or transition era guys, you're going to love this car. This car is extremely helpful for you guys. And we've done something a little bit different on these. These are the Athearn Roundhouse 34-foot 2-bay ribbed side hoppers. Now, these were extremely popular right after World War II. And a lot of them went on throughout the 50s, the 60s, even in some cases in the 70s, even though they were pretty much sidelined more for a maintenance away type freight car. But they did have a long life to them. And we're going to be offering these in packs of actually 4 cars. Now, why did we do that? Well, because we know a lot of guys like to have these behind their transition era locomotive, whether it be an early diesel or steam locomotive. It wasn't unusual to see these in sets. So we wanted to offer these like this time. Now, the one that you see here, this one I do believe is still available at hobby shops right now. So if it interests you, you can contact your dealer. This is the offset hopper. This was for Santa Fe. And this one for the item number is RND, since it's Roundhouse, a 1279. But let's talk about what we're going to be offering and what you have until just Friday to pre-order through your dealer. Coming up first, we've got a 1950s era New York Central. Now, we're offering these in 2 different 4-packs. Now, the numbers are all different, and to prove that, I'll even let you know which ones they are. If you are interested in ordering these, grab your pen and your pencil, stop the video, whatever you want to do to make sure that you can get these part numbers. But the first set of 4 is Roundhouse part number RND 50011. This will include 4 1950s era New York Central cars lettered for road numbers 837111, 837262, 837543, and 838362. We're also offering a second 4-pack That 4-pack's item number is RND 50012. It will include 4 cars, again, in the 1950s era paint scheme that you see here. Car numbers will include 838285, 838290, 838407, and 838490. Chesapeake and Ohio, these are 1960s era paint schemes. Likewise, 2 different 4-packs that will be offered with these. First 4-pack is part number RND 50013, and that will include car numbers 47232, 47807, 47809, and 48316. The second 4-pack, which is part number RND 50014, will include car numbers 48355, 48417, 48519, and 48589. Coming up next is Reading. For all you guys in the Midwest and on the West Coast, it's Reading, not reading. I have a friend that loves to say reading because he knows it just sounds like fingers on a chalkboard for somebody from the East Coast. But it's the Reading, and this is the 1940s era paint scheme. Very popular. We had a lot of folks ask for these cars. So we're not just doing 1 pack. We're not just doing 2 packs. We're doing 3 packs. So hold on to your seats. Here we've got 3 different sets that we're going to be offering as 4 packs. And again, pack number 1 is RND 50015. This will include Reading cars number 80300, 80321, 80337, and 80340. The second set is RND 50016. This is for Reading cars 80347, 80355, 80361, and 80380. And then finally, the last 4-pack. This is the number 3 set in the 4-pack. This is RND 50017. And they will include cars Reading numbers 80399, 80407, 80421, and 80435. So you guys that model the Reading, you were asking for these, and now you have a chance to order these as long as you do it by Friday the 30th. All right, we're going back to Elgin, Joliet, and Eastern. This is 1950s era paint scheme. We're offering 2 different packs of 4 of these. The first pack is R&D 50018. This will include cars number 40614, 40707, 40848, and 40999. Pack number 2 is Roundhouse item number RND 50019, and it will include cars numbered 41040, 41334, 41500, and 41693. Now coming up next is the Waddell, depending on how you want to pronounce it, and the Old and Weary, if you will, the NWO and the NYO and W. This is 1950s era. We're offering 1 pack for this one. The 1 pack is item number RND 50020, and it will include car numbers 101, 102, 103, and 104. Last but not least, we have the Penn Central. These are 1960s era paint schemes, obviously later 1960s. These would definitely survive up into the Conrail era, so keep that in mind. We've got the pack number 1 is RND 50021. It will include Penn Central cars number 32000, 32011, 32024, 32030. And then the second pack, this is RND 50022, will include cars number 32047, 32050, 32066, and finally 32079. The features on these cars, they are Roundhouse, so they're not going to have as much detail as a Genesis or even an Athearn car. However, they do have some great features. namely speaking, removable coal loads. They're all going to have body-mounted McHenry operating scale knuckle couplers. Because they have wheels with RP25 contours, they will operate on all types of track that is HO scale. They are weighted per NMRA standards. And the nice thing about these guys, minimum radius 18 inches. So it doesn't matter how big or small your layout is, these are going to track just fine. Now this 4-pack MSRP is $129.99. Contact your dealer for your price. Your price is going to be slightly different. You have until Friday the 30th. Which, believe it or not, is right around the corner. I'm not sure where June went, but it went quickly. Yes, you would be correct. That is definitely maintenance away, hence that bright yellow. That's why they're painted that bright yellow. Those cars are ending the end of their life, and they live the second life as maintenance away. Certainly lasted probably into the Conrail era. Let's see if there's any other questions. A lot of folks are really happy about the Penn Central, so that tells me that a lot of you guys have taken advantage of our product suggestion email. Now, if you've not done that before, go ahead and go to our website, go to the Contact Us. You'll be taken to a screen. Fill out that screen, and there's a drop-down menu, and one of the options for the drop-down menu is product suggestions. Put your product suggestions in there. We look at those all the time because that determines what we're going to do next, including some of the new stuff that's coming out in July. Let's see if there's any other questions here. Austin kind of throwing something out of left field saying, when are you going to show the CSX YN2 AC 4400s? Well, we did. If you noticed, one of our product developers, John, posted a really cool picture of his workbench, and he asked the question, what are you working on? Well, sharp-eyed followers noticed that right away. It was actually in the middle of the picture. There's more pictures of those coming up. We'll be posting those throughout. Now, keep in mind some of the pictures of the AC 4400s. These are pre-production samples. So if you think the color that looks a little off, or if you think something looks a little wrong, keep in mind that we just want to show you what we're working on. These are pre-production samples, which means the product developer and the researcher have to go through those, make sure they're up to our standards. But we still like to show you what we're working on, and we know you guys have been looking forward to seeing those. All right. Nothing in Florida East Coast this time. Now, earlier, Derek, you had asked about the CF7. Why have we not done the CF7? So, many years ago, under the Ready to Roll line, we offered the CF7. Now, if you know anything about the CF7, it was a really interesting locomotive. Santa Fe had taken some old GP7s and some F units and kind of combined them together and made a really interesting locomotive that worked out not only well for the Santa Fe, but ended up getting more lifespan on short lines. In fact, I remember seeing many short lines here in the Illinois area in the 1990s having at least one of these. Now, the thing about CF7s is no two were alike. They were pretty much put together much like a Paducah Jeep. But we did offer these under the Ready to Roll line many years ago. Now, why you haven't seen those in so long is because, as with anything, the second law of thermodynamics kicks in, and the molds, after so many years of being used, were no longer usable. That is something that happens to a lot of products, and depending on what the mold is made of, sometimes those molds will break down sooner. Now, in the case for the CF7, we've looked at the molds, or I should say product development has looked at the molds, and they have reached the determination that, yes, there's definitely a demand for the CF7, but we are currently looking at everything from our budget to our long-term goals to see when and what line would the CF7 be produced in again. There is quite a bit of debate on whether we leave it in the former Ready to Roll, now Athearn line, or put it in the Genesis line. So the project is not dead. We are looking at it. We certainly do get a lot of requests for the CF7. It's a very popular locomotive. I personally would like to see one at N scale as well. We'll have to see. I can tell you that our product developers are extremely busy working on some projects, and we've got some new stuff that we're going to be announcing at some shows here pretty soon. So I think you'll be happy to see what the guys have been working on. All right. Let's see what other questions you have out there. And remember, if there's something that you want to see, I see guys out there all the time, either on social media or a live like this. They're like, Jim, make a SD9. Jim, make an RF16. Jim, make a fill in the blank. I'm with you. Most of the stuff that you guys come up with is exactly what I would like to see in my roster for either HO or N scale. However, the best thing to do is use the Athearn product suggestion email. By all means, use that email. It will not fall on deaf ears. And please don't think that because you didn't get a response, we're not listening. We are listening. We just are busy working on new projects, so we don't always have time to go back and forth with the email. Now, that being said, if we are getting close to working on something and we think you've got some information that would be beneficial for the project, we'll definitely reach out and contact you and ask for any support that you may be able to send our way. Let's see. Tyler, anything new for Western Maryland? Watch social media in the next few days. You'll see something I think you're going to like. And let's see. One more question before we go on to the news. Mr. Manny says, why haven't you done the Dash 8 N40B units? Well, long story short, there are so many things in the production chain right now that that is something that we honestly have not looked at. We do get requests for that. But keep in mind, from the point of sitting down at a table and making our budget for the year and deciding these are the brand new projects we're going to do, you've got 3 years before all of that comes into play. There's a lot of CAD work. A product engineer will spend sometimes years on a project getting that all done in CAD. And that's even before anything is touched to a mold. Then there's the process of building the molds once everything has been approved in the CAD work. Once the molds are made, they do a first shot. They send that shot to the product developer. Product developer either signs off on it or tells them some refinements that must be made. And that, of course, is something that takes time because our factories, most of our factories, are overseas. Once everything is, dialed out and ready to go, then we make an announcement on those items and we set those in front of you, and you get to pre-order through your dealer which roads you want of that particular unit. And then a year later, they come to you as a finished product. So right there, you're looking at anywhere between 5 to 7 years. So we've got projects that we've got in the works that you don't even know about yet. And you'll be hearing a lot about them probably this summer into the fall. All right. I'm going to go on to the news here and tell you what I'm working on. Now, remember earlier in the show, I told you that we're going to be doing pre-recorded Train Tuesdays in the next coming weeks. That's because next week is a holiday for us here in the United States, as well as I'm going to be on the road. Mark is going to be on the road, and who knows, there may even be some other Athearn members on the road. So keep an eye out. But we are doing what we call Athearn on the Main Line. I'm real excited to announce this. This is where we get to get out of the office, get out of the studio, and hit the high iron to some of our favorite places. And the first place that we're going to be is coming right up. It's going to be next week, actually. We're going to be at Midwest Model. Midwest Model, if you're not familiar with them, they're right in the middle of Kansas City. And they are one of the largest suppliers of model trains, probably in the country. Now, they are famous for their quick shipping. I know I've used them for quite a bit of my orders. We're going to show up there on July 6th at 3 o'clock p.m. We're going to do a quick tour of the store. Then we're going to have a meet and greet. So if you're able to make it, stop on by, say hi. The first 25 folks that show up are going to get a special surprise. We've got a surprise for you. We've also got a surprise guest that's probably going to show up. And we're going to do a live, too, with all of you. We can do a question and answer session. We can tour the store. it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun for myself and Mark Williams, who will also be with me, to get to see you guys. And you know what? By all means, if you're working on something like a locomotive or a freight car or something that you've kit bashed, by all means, bring it out. We want to see what you guys have been working on. Right after the Midwest Hobby Tour, we're going to be going north, and we're going to be going to Nebraska. Now, we're going to be at Nebraska starting July 8th. We're going to be there through the 9th. This is the Spring Creek Model Trains Open House. They do this every other year, and it's going to be a great event. You're going to see stuff in HO, N scale, even 2-rail O you're going to see there. There's going to be all kinds of neat displays. Athearn, of course, is going to be there, represented by myself as well as Mark, and our friends at Soundtracks are going to be there. So you can probably figure that George and I will be doing something. And again, we're going to have special treats for you folks that show up. It's a 2-day show. You're going to want to get out there and see this. Now, as you know, Spring Creek is another big hobby shop in the Midwest, and so big, in fact, that they took over a grocery store. That's kind of cool. Now, they're going to leave their shop open for extended hours. So when you're done at the train show, you can come over to the shop and get lost in all that good train goodness. Now, later this summer, I'll be doing some shows as well. The first show that I'll be doing is coming up the end of the month. It's in July. It is probably the largest RPM in the country. It's the St. Louis RPM meet. Now, this year, it's going to be held July Friday the 28th as well as Saturday the 29th. If you live anywhere within a 6-hour radius of this Collinsville, Illinois, you're going to want to make plans to come and see this show. This show draws in some very talented modelers. For me, it's a real treat because it really allows me to get in touch with the guys that are doing all the cool stuff to not only our products, but as well as other manufacturers' products. Again, top tier modeling, great clinics, also some great layouts that come to get shown at this event. Again, Friday the 28th, Saturday the 29th of July. And then in August, starting on Friday the 25th and going through Sunday the 27th, again, myself and Mark Williams, we're going to be in Texas. We're going to be at the National Train Show. This is following up the NMRA Texas Express. This is, of course, the national show, and we're real excited about being there. We're going to have some pretty interesting stuff, probably some stuff that we're going to unveil that you're going to want to check out. So if I don't see you on the main line, go ahead and check us out at either the St. Louis RPM or the train show coming up, National Train Show in August. Now, we won't, unfortunately, have Train Fest this year, so I apologize for that. The committee that has been working on that is talking about doing a biannual event versus an annual event. So, also, too, I wanted to make you aware, I know how much we all love stickers. If you go to any Athearn on the main line event, such as the Midwest Models or the Spring Creek, you want to be one of the first ones to show up, because in your little goodie bag is an exclusive sticker that is a limited run, and it's just for that event. So for you guys out there that like stickers, there you go. I wanted to give you that little tidbit too. Stay tuned to our social media. We're going to be doing stuff throughout the next few days to give you ideas of what's going on. And also, if you haven't already, on Facebook, both Midwest Model as well as Spring Creek. You can also listen to the many podcasts that are out there right now that are talking about some of these events, and Around the Layout is one of them. You can check out Ray Arnott's podcast over on YouTube. It's Around the Layout, and he talks about a lot of these events and what's going on. So with that, I'm going to give you a chance to ask a few more questions, and then I'm going to let you guys get back to it. Jim, is there July announcements this Friday? Yes. Yes, there is. Somebody wanted a hint. Let me think of a hint. I'm going to think of a hint while I'm looking at questions here. Let's see. Michael, thank you for your comment there. Michael says, last week's show had some awesome selections to order. I ordered some for my layout. Thank you, Michael. We appreciate that, and your hobby dealer appreciates that as well. Gary is saying, Jim, I'm looking forward to seeing you at Spring Creek event. Gary, thank you. It'll be great to. I've seen you on our live feeds before. Looking forward to meeting you in person. Let's see. N-scale SW 1500s. No, I wish. I would really like that. BN Green 1970 with a great question. He says, Jim, any chance Athearn on the main line will come to Pacific Northwest? So if you think you have an event that you would like to see either myself or one of the Athearn representatives show up at, leave me a note on our social media. I do read those messages. You can actually go onto Instagram and send an instant message. Go ahead and send me an instant message on Instagram, and I will take a look at your event. And if we can somehow work it out, we'll do it. Now, please keep in mind, just because Athearn's actually a pretty small company, we can't have a lot of guys out of the office a lot. So we have to look at the bigger shows and the bigger RPMs throughout the country. So keep that in mind. As much as I would love to come to an operating meet with 10 guys, it's not always possible for me to do. But give us some information about it, and we'll start working on an email for you guys to send us that information as well. Chris is saying our club is setting up the layout at Spring Creek. Hope to see you there. I'm sure you will. If you've got a layout, I'm going to be hanging around it. I'm looking forward to seeing that. So thanks for letting me know you're going to be there. Alex says, Jim, just want to say thank you for working with Soundtracks. So many great products, and all of my Athearn locomotives have Soundtracks. Well, thank you, and I know Soundtracks would thank you for that as well. You know, it's really a great relationship we have with Soundtracks. It's kind of like peanut butter and jelly. I've learned to really take advantage of all of the neat aspects of Soundtracks, and if you're interested about taking advantage of all of that information in your locomotives, be sure to look at Soundtracks' YouTube channel. George Bogatak has a whole series of videos showing you how to unlock the potential in the Soundtracks decoder. It's helped me quite a bit. And if you're ever on the road, be sure to look up Soundtracks, see if they're there. They are going to be at the Spring Creek next weekend, so stop by the booth. All right, I'm looking for one or two more questions and seeing from there. Any shows in Michigan lined up? Not this year, Brian. I haven't seen any. This year, they were heavily concentrated to the Midwest, although we did do Amherst earlier in the year. That's a big show that we do. Typically, we have one in the upper Midwest in Milwaukee. Next year, we will have a national show out on the West Coast. And that'll give you guys on the West Coast a chance to see us. We need some more shows in the South. We could use some in the Southwest and Southeast. All right. Now, if you have any questions about the shows, you can also go to our website. We've got a calendar of events on the website. That's at athearn.com. You can check that out there. Now, don't forget, this Friday at 3:30 on June 30th, there's a lot of threes there, we're going to be doing the July announcements. You guys wanted a hint. I still haven't thought of a good hint for you, but you're not going to want to switch around too much. You're going to want to stay tuned for that. That's going to drop into YouTube at 3:30. It will be a live video, so if you are able to make it at 3:30 Central Time, you can definitely take a look and get some answers to some questions. Until Friday at 3:30, I will let you guys get back to it, get back to your modules, get back to your layout, get back to your kit bashing sessions, whatever you have on your workbench. Be happy, be healthy, be safe, and above all, high greens. I'll see you everybody on Friday. Take care.